And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got some of the latest real estate market stats. We got a Tampa Bay real estate market update for you. We also have our gratitude party coming up tomorrow, or actually Thursday this week. It's going to be 6 o'clock over at Cox Media Group. 1025 The Bone Studios there. Look forward to seeing you there. If you want to be there, you got to make sure you RSVP through our website, consumerqb.com. It's going to be a lot of fun networking and food, drinks provided, and awesome food provided by Thomas with America's Preferred Home Warranty. Shout out to him and his team. Interesting news. Florida public schools are experiencing a steep drop in enrollment, with Hillsborough County alone losing 7,000 students last year. Major driver. So we'll discuss that. What's the major driver there? I think it's homeschooling. People want to, teach their kids what they want them to know, and not a lot of the woke ideology that we're seeing throughout all the different videos that kind of got brought up to the forefront, by parents and, seeing their Zooms, their kids being taught at school. So interesting. 7,000. That's in just one county. Imagine the numbers extrapolated across the country. Very interesting to see that. Florida, again, number one economy, according to a recent CNBC article. We'll touch a little bit on that. And I've got, we're going to talk with Todd Riley here. He is a producer on the show, but he's going to ask some of the common questions that we hear a lot. We see people submitting questions through our website at consumerqb.com. You can submit an email there on the website, consumerqb.com, and we'll touch on some of those questions that we get. Questions like, what is an as-is contract? Questions about cash offers. Do you make cash offers? What does that process look like? We'll touch base on those types of questions as well, and kind of get into the mind of our audience, our consumer out there, and answer those questions. Try to help you as a consumer advocate, as which the Consumer Quarterback Show is named after. Consumer advocacy, all about helping people understand their buying decisions when it comes to all the major categories: real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, insurances, technology. Of course, mortgage and finance is a big part of our business here as well. So we'll touch base on that also. And we'll go over some of the latest market. The market expected a 50 basis points drop in the Federal Reserve funds rate. And what we got was a quarter. So it's kind of interesting to see how that affected the rates. They didn't initially drop. The bond market went, the opposite direction. So we had rates actually go up a little bit, but I think they'll be coming back down, and we'll see how that goes. We're also going to talk with Kasie Copeland. She's going to be on the program here as well. The Copeland team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage, going to be in studio making her debut. The Copeland, it's copelandteam.com. You can find them online, and she's the branch manager there. So we're going to touch base with another great local professional here in Tampa Bay. Top 10 celebrities in Tampa Bay. We've got kind of bringing back our top 10 list as well. Todd, bringing that back. That's always fun. We like to do those top 10s. Those are interesting. Those are fun to have in. Those are fun to get into.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. All right, let's do a couple of hot listings here, Dave. What do you say, man? We got a couple of hot listings. I tell you what, one of my favorite listings this year is that Pemberton listing. Let's throw that one up. 2906 Pemberton Creek Drive. We've got 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bath, 4-car garage, 6,800 plus square feet, over 3 acres of land, and you have your own private bridge. This property is right on the other side of a creek, so the owner is he was a contractor his whole life, concrete, and he built his own bridge here. So it's really cool, kind of an estate-style home, and it's in a estate-style neighborhood with large lots. And what a great area, too, out in Seffner, Florida. That's Hillsborough County, kind of halfway to Lakeland in that range there, close to Lakeland. You're within probably about 45-minute ride to Walt Disney World and some of the Central Florida attractions. 2906 Pemberton Creek Drive, $1.999, $988. So just under $2 million. Great listing from our team. We had a successful open house this weekend, so we may have offers coming in on that one already. Very excited about that property. But it's a gorgeous estate-style home. If you have any interest in something like that, we would love to talk to you. ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. Submit an email form at consumerqb MVPteam.com. That email form will come to me just like an email, and we promise to get back to you before our head hits the pillow. 118 Lakeshore Drive East, Palm Harbor. Waterfront, beautiful home, right on Lake Tarpon. Wide open, 180-degree views of the water. That's a 322, 1,740 square feet, quarter-acre lot, no CDD, and an optional HOA. The HOA is kind of cool because it has a single-family home on it where you can maybe have parties there, or also back your boat down the boat ramp and bring your boat right into the water there. Great opportunity to own a beautiful home right here in Tampa Bay. This one's in the $700,000 range, $800,000 range. 118 Lakeshore Drive East, Palm Harbor, Florida. And you can see all of our listings. Isn't that nice?
That pool is so cool.
And the boat lift. I mean, you got the boat lift, jet ski lift, and a huge dock, all with that brand new, what do they call that? That tech. It's the flooring that's done with those, it's kind of like the plastic wood. I forgot the name of that, but it's really awesome. 118 Lakeshore Drive East, Palm Harbor. You can see all of our listings. Platinum, MVPteam.kw.com.
And yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
That's right. Yep. Shout out to our veterans, troops, everybody out there. And seems like we may be going back over to Bagram, Dave. Did you hear about that? Trump over the weekend?
Yeah.
Afghanistan saying, hey, give Bagram back. Unfortunately, the idiot ahead of me let it go. We built it. We want it back. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be heading over there.
I think we take it, man. Let's take it back.
I say we should.
I think we
I don't
should.
think we're going to.
Well, let's see. Let's see how it shakes out. Hey, when DJT says something, we'll see what happens. But,
Maybe
hey, it's
they'll
ours.
blow it up to keep them from having it.
Yeah, one or the other, yeah, or that. And we'll just drop a bunch of bombs over there and then clear out the, whatever the military
Give it
strategy
back or
is
lose
there.
it one way or the other.
We'll bring it back. Yeah, that's right. All right, so a little out of our scope, but let's talk a little real estate here. We got Todd, producer Todd in studio with us. Todd, how you doing today, man?
Good, brother.
Yes, sir.
Always good.
Yeah, I thought we'd do a segment like this to mix it up a little bit and talk about real estate because there's so many misconceptions out there. And, we get these questions a lot, and I've been in the business for over 20 years. And, a lot of times when you're in something every day so often, you kind of forget a little bit of that common layperson's questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I wanted to just kind of pitch and catch with you a little bit about maybe getting in the minds of some of our consumers out there and, ways we can help them. Because ultimately, we love being a consumer advocate. We love helping people and being that economist of choice here locally for the Tampa Bay, Clearwater, Palm Harbor, Bradenton, Sarasota, this whole group here, Pinellas, all the different areas. But a lot of times we're a little bit removed from that. So what kind of questions do you think people might have? What's in mind, top of mind?
I'm sure
there?
a lot of people might be confused with, like what's the difference between an as-is contract and other forms?
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. So you got FAR bar and you got other, but I would say, from what I see, over 90% of the actual contracts offers that come in are on an as-is contract. But the misconception there is the seller says, "Oh, Brandon, I'm selling this house as is," and they just think they're going to just get the offer, collect money at closing, and that's going to be it. Well, there's a lot that goes on in between, the initial escrow deposit and the closing of escrow about 30 days later, sometimes 45 days or, maybe sometimes a little bit less than 30 days. But what happens is when you have an as-is contract, essentially, that's the terminology. That's the overall theme of the contract. But it's a 10-page document. And in that contract, it's an as-is with the right to inspect. Okay, so when the buyer has that right to inspect, they'll normally have 10 days, 15 days. Sometimes we try to shorten them up, especially in a hot market, down to 7 days. You have 7 days, 15 days to inspect. And then, of course, they're going to hire somebody like Jay Smith with A Snoop Inspection. They're going to get their inspection done. And then, inevitably, they're going to be a list of things that are going to be on there. Sometimes it's a breaker box. Sometimes it's chip paint. I've even had them say, "Oh, there's cracks in the driveway." I'm like, "What? Are you serious? You're going to ask us that?" And that was when the market was really booming. But that I think they knew that was kind of thrown out. But essentially, you have these different issues that are going to come up. And as long as it's nothing major that affects the insurance or the mortgage side of the transaction, primarily what we see too a lot of times is the roof.
Yeah,
you have roof issues, and then
you don't
that's
want
going to
that.
be
That's for sure. That could be a lot of money.
Yeah, and they'll estimate. A lot of times the inspectors will estimate, hey, this roof has X amount of life left. So then you'll see that affecting the insurance. And then if you can't bind insurance, most of the time you can't get a lender. You're not going to be able to get a lender.
Right.
Maybe a hard lender or some kind of a niche lender. But ultimately, that's kind of what we see when it comes to an as-is contract.
So as is doesn't actually truly mean as is.
Correct. Yeah. It's, but now you will. Sometimes you get these cash offers. We make cash offers. We have, partners, friends of the program that will buy properties cash. Now, that is 100% as is. Close in 7 days. As soon as you can get the title cleared, we'll close it all cash.
So does a cash offer mean you have to have cash on hand?
Yeah, that's going to be cash at closing. Now, they can have hard money a lot of times. They'll have a hard money lender that's same as cash in a way, either that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be cash in the bank transferred at closing, but ultimately we're treating it the same way as cash.
Right.
Because it has to close in 7 days or 10 days as soon as the title's cleared and the title company's ready, which could be done in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, really, if you wanted to close something quickly. So ultimately, but yeah, that's a good question. That's what the as-is contract and the cash offers are.
So for people that don't know, what is the hard money lender?
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. So when you think about a hard money lender, those are people that most of the time, majority of the time, they're going to lend locally. So it's going to be somebody that lends either in Tampa Bay or maybe there's somebody in Orlando or Miami. Normally that Miami lender wouldn't want to lend in Tampa Bay because he's just that, this little hyper local.
Yeah.
And they're going to be low LTV. That means loan to value. So in other words, these guys, a lot of times, are going to be around 65, 70%. They're going to be high points, meaning you're going to pay more of a broker's fee up front for those types of deals. And you're going to have, higher interest rate, of course. Yeah, you're going to have 10, 12% interest rates. But those a lot of times are just Band-Aid loans. Those are loans that say, hey, I want to acquire this home. I want to put some money into it. So I'm going to have someone else or maybe a partner put cash into the property. And you've seen them where the kitchen needs a makeover.
Sure.
Bathrooms need some work. And then they'll go in and they'll put those properties, they'll put that money into it, and then they'll close that loan or close the deal, and then they'll close out that loan. They'll pay that loan off, in 6 months or whatever it might be. And then they're going to flip the property.
Yeah.
So then they flip the property and they're able to, make a nice return. But that's a necessary part of our ecosystem when you think about it, because these are people taking risk. Mm-hmm. They're putting capital out. They're putting their not only that, but they're putting their their knowledge, their skills and abilities to work, improving the asset, and then making it look nice, and then selling it to an end buyer who's going to pay a little bit of a multiple on that property.
Yeah, it's also known as OPM, or other people's money.
That's right, OPM. Yeah, other people's money. So if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, also known as the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And we're talking with producer Todd T. Riley in the house, and kind of going through some of those questions that we get kind of off air, and the questions that come through our website, consumerqb.com. You can submit an email there at consumerqb.com. And here's some of the stats too. Some of the recent highlights. We take a great pride in being a consumer advocate. So see, these are some of the latest stats that came in, and it's essentially when you're looking at detached residences. Let's look at those. We had 9.5% less listings, and we had 8.3% less listings year over year. More people, I guess, sentiment is, hey, I'm taking the property off the market. I'm not going to put it back on. I'm kind of wait and see. Kind of like that presidential election we get a lot. I'm going to wait and see who wins, right?
Exactly.
Available inventory's down 4% month over month, but up 16% year over year. So inventory growing means that less properties are selling, so inventory is going up. Pending contracts, pending under contract, year over year, that's up 4%. So that's positive. That means we're moving in the right direction. Closed sales, however, is down 7% year over year. So a year ago, we closed 7% less sales than we've closed, and this is the Tampa Bay market as of August. Months supply of inventory, 3.8%. It's still a seller's market. As much as people kind of been saying, the market's not great, from a seller perspective, you're still sitting in the driver's seat. Median price, $415,000. That's the median price in Tampa Bay. And that leads us to the conversation around affordability.
Yeah.
Affordability. You probably talk to people about that, and, it's not as affordable it was 5-10 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, and a lot of people are frustrated with that. Days on market are up 18 days plus 18 days year over year.
what kind of things can affect the days on market?
Yeah, days on market is going to be, the curb appeal, if it does need those repairs and somebody's just not willing to buy it at that. And then competition, healthy competition. If there's a better property priced better for the condition that it's in, then it's going to sell before the subject property would in that case.
Yeah.
Right. So,
what kind of advice would you give somebody who's looking to sell their home to make sure that it sells quickly?
Yeah, good question. So what you want to do is make sure you have, control what you can control, right? We can't control other properties. We can't control outside of our property line in a way. So we want to make sure our property's looking good, it smells good, it's clean. You're going to declutter. You're going to take down personal photos. You're going to wipe down every window seal, wipe down the windows, clear it up, open up the lights, let the lighting come into that home. Curb appeal. You might want to plant some plants out front, put some beautiful, curb appeal out there. Definitely make sure there's not any, weeds in the flower beds, things like that. Make sure it's clean. When you walk up to that front door, the last thing you want to see when you look up is a big old spider web or something. Right? Or what do we call them in Florida? We got those dirt daubers.
Yeah.
We got dirt daubers in Florida. But yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, anybody looking to buy, sell, invest, refinance, we would love to talk to you. Call the hotline 813-917-1894. We'll complete a free comparable market analysis for you. Basically an appraisal. We're going to do an appraisal for you for free, tell you what your property's worth, share with you our marketing plan, and we'd love to work with you on that. 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. All right, quick break, right back. More with Todd T. Riley in the co-pilot seat there, passenger seat. We got David Vargas in the co-pilot seat, producer Dave, and we'll talk more about Tampa Bay market, Tampa Bay real estate, and other things happening here as well. Florida has experience. Discuss that also when we come back. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right to the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here in studio with producer Todd, talking a little real estate here. Talk a little bit about what's kind of affecting you in your daily life and consumer advocacy. Faster for more money with our real estate listings as well. We take great pride in that, getting maximum exposure for our properties, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate listings. We've got a beautiful property at 3308 Landing Place in Palm Harbor. This one's right on, it's in Cobb's Landing, and there's a waterfront park there. This is a beautiful estate-style home, 3 bedrooms plus an office, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, over 3,000 square feet, over 1/3 of an acre of land, ground level master bedroom, private pool with an outdoor entertainment area, private marina with boat slips, and a ramp out to Lake Tarpon where you can take your boat out to a couple of restaurants on the lake there. There's the Tarpon Turtle, and there's another new Mexican restaurant that just hit the lake there. Awesome. Florida, you got Freedom Boat Club on the lake too. Gated tennis and basketball courts, waterfront park, playground, scenic walking trails, and more. You can have a lot of activities on the lake, of course, jet skiing, fishing, and skiing and boating, of course. Waterfront park there. 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor, Florida. Beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping our sellers sell faster for more money, maximum exposure, leading to multiple offers in some cases. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road, Ocala, Florida. This one is in beautiful Ocala, Florida. This is a commercial building and the business and the land, 5,725 square feet, almost an acre of land. You got a retail parcel property here, thriving hardware store, lucrative income streams. You have multiple rentable sections there, so he's got multiple streams of income. Seller financing is available with a strong down payment and great opportunity to buy real estate. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right. Yes, good stuff, man. So, we talked a little bit about Florida experiencing a loss in people going to school. The students, 7,000 students since last year have decided, hey, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get taught by my parents. I know we're talking about doing that too coming up soon. You can actually get money. Good call, man. You can get money from the state to contribute to whatever type of learning. There's a lot of parent groups out there now. That way you don't have to have your kids with this woke indoctrination that I think Charlie Kirk's death really has kind of brought to the forefront. We were talking about videos before, Todd, and I got a quick clip of Charlie I want to play, and then we'll discuss.
As Christians, ethical monotheists, we have the problem of evil. Atheists have evil no problem. On the atheist side, they can't say that evil actually exists because without God, if God does not exist, then we are nothing more than just a clump of cells, and there is no such thing as evil.
Yeah, so a lot of times atheists say, well, as a Christian, how do you know God? Well, look, if God doesn't exist, then the atheist, would be saying, okay, well, what's the meaning then, right? Yeah. Our contention would be, well, how do you know what's good and bad? Is murder bad? Right. Well, how do you know it's bad?
Yeah, right? How do you know what moral standards are?
Moral standards, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's where you get, there's nothing that, when you see somebody pass away like Charlie Kirk, man, all the good that's come from that, the Turning Point chapters, over 62,000 new chapters applied for. They're going to continue on doing the events. A lot of good stuff, man.
What a great name that he gave his company, his organization.
Turning Point.
It's been a massive turning point.
It sure has. All right, good stuff. Well, we're going to take a quick break, talking with Kasie Copeland. We're going to jump into the mortgage business a little bit, talk about the mortgage industry, what they're seeing on their end, talk about some success stories with Kasie Copeland. She's the branch manager, CopelandTeam.com. Coming up next, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're welcoming Kasie Copeland to the program. We're going to talk with her in just a moment. She's branch manager, CopelandTeam.com, lending in multiple states. We're going to talk a little bit about the mortgage industry. Of course, some real estate sprinkled in there as well. And I want to remind you about our party coming up. It's going to be Thursday, 6 o'clock over at Cox Media's 1025 The Bone Studio. We also invite our audience. So if you're listening to this and you want to come check it out, make sure you go to the website. There's also a Facebook page where you have to RSVP. We got to get you on the list. ConsumerQB.com will do that for you as well. You can submit an email form from our website, but it's going to be Tampa Bay's best speed networking event. Food, drinks, beer, and wine provided. It's going to be a great time. Thomas, with America's Preferred Home Warranty, is providing appetizers as well. All right, let's jump into a couple of hot listings here. As you know, we like to feature our properties on the program. 103 Brigadoon Drive in Clearwater. This one just hit the market a couple weeks ago. 3 bedrooms. You have 3 bath, 1536 square feet, updated 3-story residence with no rear neighbors. You got a low HOA and a great opportunity to buy real estate. You're close to the beaches here. Clearwater Beach, about a 8 to 10 mile drive. Large backyard there. Beautiful pool there as well. Clubhouse. 103 Brigadoon Drive, Clearwater. Great opportunity to buy real estate. New laminate flooring, modern lighting fixtures, water softener, and added attic insulation at that property as well. All right, let's take a look at 12941 Wildflower Meadow Drive, Riverview. Beautiful property in Riverview here that we have listed. Now, this one is 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage. I love the curb appeal there. 2949 square feet, located in Triple Creek, which is a vibrant Riverview community with 990 acres of planned development. And you're close to Triple Creek Nature Preserve, which is 1,200-acre nature preserve as well. You got the dark cherry wood in there on the kitchen, stainless steel appliances, large tile flooring, carpet in the bedrooms there. And the clubhouse is awesome. Look at the size of that clubhouse. Beautiful. You have a lap pool there, kids swim pool, tennis and basketball courts. Great opportunity to buy real estate. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, yeah, sunny and 75. What a great time of year, too, here in Tampa Bay. We're finally seeing that first notice of the humidity break. Have you noticed that a little bit? It's like, yes, we all take a deep...
Allergies are killing it.
Are they? The allergies are back?
I can't wait.
I just like the humidity's gone. I'm wearing my tie again here, my long sleeve and my tie. So playing a little dress up here. But Kasie Copeland, welcome in.
Thanks, Brandon. Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about your business. You and your husband, Don, work together. My wife, Lindsay, and I work together. And tell us a little bit about your company.
So Don and I are residential lenders, and we have been doing this for 22 years as a married couple. And like you and your wife, we're still married, happily married.
There you go. That's great.
We get that question all the time. How do you work with your spouse? Well, it's my best friend. So,
there you go.
Like I said, we've been doing it 22 years. We've been on the broker side. We've been on the bank side. We've been on the direct lending side. So we've been on all sides of it and love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there's some advantages, when you look at, this is what I talk about a lot on the show is instead of supporting, especially for our local audience here, our local audience, you want to support the local companies. You want to support the local companies that are, investing back in the community, because a lot of times people just think, oh, I'll just walk into my big bank and you see the big box name and you heard about them all over. They're the same people that took the bailout money. They're the same companies that, bought up all the best corner lot locations and made another bank there on the corner. So that's why it's so important. Can you talk a little bit about that, the advantages there?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that I tell my clients is, I'm going to run into you at Target. I'm going to see you, at these events. I don't want you to run down the other aisle and be like, oh my gosh, that was my lender. She was terrible. I want you to walk up and be like, hey, this is my lender. Let me introduce you to your friends and your family and that. So,
that's right.
And you're right. I mean, being local, we support local. So we want people to support us as being local as well. It's just a great community effort.
Yeah. And a lot of those big box, companies, those big banks, they're kind of relegated to the basic stuff. They got the very cookie cutter type programs. You're not going to get really, that exception that you might need. You might need a little bit of a credit score exception or an income type, things like that. There's going to be advantages, I think, when you can shop the programs a little bit more as well.
Absolutely. And I've got one right now that it's one of those situations that it's not normal. It doesn't fit into the boxes, but we're able to work it out. And she's actually a retired attorney. She doesn't plan on working. She's not old enough to receive Social Security, so she doesn't have an actual income. Right. But we were able to do the asset utilization program where we're just using her assets as her income.
Wow.
So she's able to go buy, $500,000, $650,000 home and doesn't have any actual income. So again, coming to us, talking to us, listening to what she needs and what she wants,
right,
we were able to find a program that fits for her.
Yeah.
So,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great program. And it's one of those things that everybody's like, okay, well, it's not the normal program. That interest rate's going to be sky high. It's not. It's below 7.
Nice.
So even though it's not in the box, it's still a great rate.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I love that. And you're able to, find that program for each different person. Each person's going to have a different credit score. They're going to have a different income type. Sometimes when you get the W-2 versus self-employed, that's an issue too sometimes, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And self-employed is a little bit different, as you know. I mean, and it's we have programs just for self-employed borrowers too that, we don't have to look at their tax returns. We can look at their bank statements. And so there is definitely alternatives out there, and that's one of the great things that we listen. What are you trying to accomplish?
Right. Yeah, if you just joined us, we're talking with Kasie Copeland here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. Their website, copelandteam.com. Check them out online. She's the branch manager. The Copeland team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And, of course, we're Keller Williams Realty, top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. And, I love the idea of timing. When you think about timing, I mean, really, we're going into, because I take over a lot of expired listings, canceled listings. I actually got 3 this morning on the phone. And when you look at that, timing, I think, is really, we're sitting in a 100%. Pretty good position right now. Don't you agree?
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
And what are some of the factors? Yeah, go ahead.
So, as we all know, the Feds met last week.
Yep.
And it's difficult when everybody hears the Feds are meeting, rates are going to go down. Yes, rates have gone down. But the crazy thing is the Feds met last Tuesday. Rates actually have creeped up a little bit since they met.
Right.
The rates had gone down prior to the Fed's meeting for the anticipation of what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. And like you and I were talking about before, they were anticipating a 0.5% cut.
Yep.
They cut 0.25%, but still rates are, they're great.
Yeah.
They're great. Right now it's all about timing. Rates right now are low to mid 6s for the most part, so it's great.
Yeah. And I got a seller right now that's kind of close to the other Riverview property we just talked about. It's a referral from a previous client. I sold his brother's house, and he said, hey, talk to my brother. He's thinking about selling. We met, and I actually told him this is kind of interesting because sometimes you could say, well, how can it be a great time to sell and buy? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, look at this. You got to look at this from a couple different angles. But when you look at selling, he's got a beautiful home. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been on the market. And our photographers, Fabre Frameworks, shout out to Fabre Frameworks. They do a great job. It's just going to look gorgeous on our marketing, right? So we're going to be hitting the market with a brand new listing here in another week, and it's going to be around the $700,000 price range. And I said, Joe, you're going to win on the sell side because you're going to be that brand new listing that just hit the market, and our marketing is so much better than our competitors. And then I said, you're going to win on the buy side too. He's going to be working with Doug Bard on our team, one of our top agents. And Doug is going to help him find 55 plus. They just wanted to be maybe a little bit different area, different type of community. But I said, you're going to be able to win on the buy side too, because there's a lot of properties out there. As we mentioned, when I was talking about these stats, days on market are up, the sales price to close price ratios down, right? So they're going to be able to negotiate a heck of a deal right now too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And there's incentives out there for buyers as well.
Right.
So like you said, it's a win-win.
Are you seeing a lot of concessions, closing cost, those incentives that you're talking about?
Yes, we are. Quote unquote, back in the day,
Yep.
the 5%, 6% seller concessions, those times are not here. But we are seeing about 2 to 3% in seller concessions. So that is, if the loan is structured right, that's a great percentage for concessions.
Yeah, it sure is. Here's one for you. So detached residences, as we were talking about, price reductions, 57.8% of closings. So almost 60% of every closing, this is all of Tampa Bay here, these are the market insights, almost 60% of closings had a price reduction. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you the ones that don't, the ones that will take the realtor's advice and say, hey, price it here. For example, let's say the home's pricing out around $715, $705, right? I would say, let's list it at $699, $988. I love the 88. My wife told me one time.
That 88.
My wife. A lot of my listings are 988, and my wife used to do feng shui, and she's telling me all about how 8s are.
Yes, those 8s
I said, all right, I'll put 2 of them on there. Then. So $699, $988. Right, because that's going to draw more attention. And then every seller's fear is, I don't want to sell it under price. I don't want to sell it under market. Okay, well, if you're comping out at $715, $705, and we know we're in a market where 60% of the closings are coming in with a price improvement. Right. Now, let's price it there, and let's see, maybe we get multiple offers, and we get 2 people or 3 people that like it at the same time.
Right. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that, too, and I love that philosophy in that the double 8s. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the double 8s.
There you go. I'll tell Lindsay, we said we all agreed the double 8s on that. But, that's right. Exactly. So you got that going on. And then, also a fair share of investors. I think some investors are still saying, hey, look, Florida is on sale right now. Mm-hmm. There's some properties. There's a difference between want to sell and need to sell. Right. So when the investors come in, they kind of happen to find those people that need to sell, whether it's a divorce, bankruptcy, tax sale, all those different issues that can happen, probate type situations. So do you do investor loans as well?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't know, the DSCR loans. Okay. That's becoming more and more popular for investors because it's based on the rental income. Right. So it's an easy loan to do, and we are seeing a lot more of those DSCR loans. Those
are great. Yes. DSCR, that's debt service coverage ratio. So if you break down those words, it means debt service. So we're going to cover that, and here's the ratio that we need. So correct. Debt service coverage ratio. So in other words, if I have a triplex or a duplex or a quad, and then I have all these tenants in there, an apartment building even, and the cumulative rents pay for the mortgage for the bank, they're like, man, this is a win-win here.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
No brainer.
It's a makes sense loan. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And what are those at? About a 70% LTV, something like that?
70 to 75, yeah.
Yeah. So then the buyer would need to come in with 25% or so funds down. And then you can get creative too. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky with certain lenders, but sometimes you can have a seller held second. Seller can hold a second. So, hey, I don't have all the 25%. This is $1 million property, Brandon. That's $250,000. Well, some lenders may, I don't know for sure, let you put down $100,000 and have the seller hold the carryback of $150,000. So there's your $250,000 down payment. Will that work like that? Will those deals sometimes work?
Yes. Yes, and some of those are exceptions, but if it makes sense, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's what you look at as you say, hey, I have a goal. My goal is to own X amount of properties, or my goal is to get into multifamily investing. We talk to those types of people, and I just think that having the right team. And that's one of the things with the show that we've done over the years is we've got great home inspectors, appraisers, all different types of people that can help you get to that end point. So reach out to the show. We'd love to put you in touch with Kasie and Don Copeland. CopelandTeam.com is the website in case you're driving. But if not, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. 813-917-1894. Just call the show hotline. It's 813-917-1894. Call or text. It's an off-air number. You're not going to get put on the air. Sometimes people call my phone. They say, am I going to be on the air? I say, no, it's a private call. Okay. So quick break, right back. More with Kasie Copeland here, the Copeland team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rimes 1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dave. We're up big time now, 800% since Q4. Now, where are we at? We're somewhere around 30,000 views a week, was it? Averaging about 30,000 views a week on the YouTube channel. We got our Rumble channel, Instagram, all that out there. So thank you so much for supporting the show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, a couple of hot listings, and we'll jump back in our conversation here with Kasie Copeland in studio with us, the Copeland team in the house. We got 14420 Bailey Hill Road in Brooksville. We just did a price improvement on the 18th. This one is acreage. You got 3 acres of agriculturally zoned land at 14420 Bailey Hill Road in Brooksville. Great opportunity to buy some dirt, maybe develop it. Got to talk to the county, kind of see what do they want to put there, and then we'll help you walk through that. We've can help you when you're buying, selling, investing, and especially with vacant land. There's a lot of questions that you have to ask in surveys and things of that nature, testing that you want to get done. So we'll help you walk through that. 7991 Lake James Boulevard, another one of our 50 listings. We've got about 45 to 50 current listings. This one on Lake James Boulevard, 7991, is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage. This is a newer home as well, built in 2022. You have a 0.15 acre lot. You got a split floor plan here, lighter color, kitchen cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, and a countertop there, lighter color countertop. Beautiful property with nice curb appeal. And you have a large community pool and a large community lake there, pond/lake, with a waterfall. Great opportunity. 7991 Lake James Boulevard, Lakeland, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, Kasie Copeland in studio with us here, the Copeland team. She's the branch manager, and she works with her husband, Don, as a mortgage lender and partner on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Talk a little bit about down payment assistance. I think a lot of times people still get that wrong.
Yes. So there's many different programs out there. Some of them are county related, depending on the county you're in. But the biggest one right now is actually Hometown Heroes.
Yes.
And that's for the entire state of Florida. Thank you to Governor DeSantis for this. Awesome. There's about $35 million still available for that program. But it is designed for our heroes, our military veterans. Don Copeland is actually a military veteran, so thank you to all of them.
Shout out to Don.
Also, our first responders, our teachers, medical professions. But it is a wonderful program that gives them 5% to help towards down payment and closing costs, which that's the piece that a lot of people forget is just because it's a down payment assistance program, you can take that extra money and apply it towards closing costs as well.
Yeah, that's super awesome. You couple that with seller giving concessions.
Correct.
You got seller concessions, 2 or 3% there. You get a down payment assistance program. And I think at one point they kind of expanded the job titles as well on that. Did they change that back, or is it a little bit more stringent now?
It is.
Okay.
The last go round of money, they had $100 million allocated for this program, and within 6 weeks, it was gone.
I remember that. It went fast.
It was quick.
Yeah.
So they did wrangle back the job titles, the occupations, and that. So it is a little more stringent, but it's still a great. I mean, the program's amazing.
A little bit more for the paramedics and those, something along those lines. Yeah.
Our first responders, veterans, teachers, all of our heroes.
Yep, nurses in there.
Yes.
Yep, that's great. Awesome. And let's see. So you're doing loans in multiple states, primarily Tampa Bay, kind of your bread and butter areas?
Yes, state of Florida. Don and I lived in the Pensacola area for many years. That's where he's from, and we moved back there for family reasons. So we do a lot in the Pensacola area still, but Tampa Bay is our bread and butter right now, and we're glad to be home.
What a great place to be, Tampa Bay. You got all the fun stuff to do. We got our top 10 list here. Let's touch on it. Todd pulled this top 10 list. So, top 10 celebrities in Tampa Bay. I guess number 1, they put Tom Cruise in there. Tom Cruise. He's over in Clearwater. He's over in Clearwater there. You got Dave Bautista. I think he's a WWE guy, wrestler. Kenan Thompson is there. Sarah Blakely. She actually was entrepreneur. She started that Spanx company. Kind of the underwear type clothing. John Cena's in Land O'Lakes, they say. John Gruden, the old Bucks football coach, he's there. And Hulk Hogan, of course, just passed away. He was in Clearwater. Chris Jericho lives in Odessa. Brian Johnson, not sure who that is. Lead
singer for AC/DC.
Oh, AC/DC, okay. Right. Stephen King.
Travolta's not on that list, huh?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Travolta's not here. Maybe he moved. Maybe he moved out. Titus O'Neil.
Up by Gainesville.
Oh, he's more like Ocala area. Yeah, yep. Oh, that's right. Dwight Gooden, Rhonda Shear. I don't know who that is either. But there's a top 10 famous folks in Tampa Bay. But so hey, look, buying, selling, investing. We want to talk to you, Kasie. Back to you. Final thoughts in terms of who you're looking for to talk to out there. Who's a good relationship for you? People that might want to do some business with you.
I mean, the general answer is anybody that wants to buy a house.
Buy a house. Buy some dirt.
Buy some dirt. Buy some house. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We do like to focus on our veterans. Benchmark
Good.
Mortgage is very heavily veteran-minded.
Good.
So we do like to focus on them, especially with Don being a veteran and me doing a lot of first-time home buyers. That's a lot of our focus. But
I love it.
Honestly, anybody that wants to own their own wealth.
Do a deal.
Yes,
let's do a deal with us. Get some realtors in touch. Realtors, if you're looking for a great lending team, Kasie and Don, talk to them. And Don, thanks for your service, sir, and appreciate everything all the veterans do, man. Look at where they put us. We got a great country here. And
amen.
And we were debating earlier. We got to take back Bagram, I think, Dave. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens there.
New golf course.
Yeah. There you go. Put it on the circuit. Hey, they got that thing in the Middle East now. What's that new golf community over there? I forgot the name of the golfing.
Strip. No.
There you go. All right, good stuff. So Kasie Copeland, find him online, copelandteam.com, copelandteam.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Brandon.
it. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.